Hi Pisces, this is your horoscope for May 2015 with me, Lada from astrolada.com, and this is for everyone who have their ascendant sun or moon in Pisces. Make sure you check your ascendant sign at least. This is what makes you different than all other Pisces, but you need to know your time of birth for this, at least within 10-15 minutes correctly. And you can find out your ascendant from my birth chart calculator. I'm putting a link for it here. Click there, fill in your details, and check the planetary detail table, and you'll see there your ascendant, the degree. Make sure you check the video for this one as well. It's usually very exact, very correct if your time of birth is correct. And if you want more specific predictions for the next 3 years, you can scroll a bit down from the birth, below the birth chart calculator, below your tables and charts, and you'll see your transits for the next 3 years, which are specific just for you. No one else in the world will have those transits at the same time as you. The calculator calculates them just for you. But right now, let's look at the general influence, which is not so specific, of the next month, May 2015, for Pisces, ascendant, sun or moon. So what is happening? Well, Mercury is becoming retrograde in your 4th house, and this means it's big focus on 4th house affairs. And this will be like that for a couple of months. It's not only May, but this prediction you'll feel it even in June. And what is happening? What does it mean? Well, Mercury can bring, when it starts moving backwards from part of May, can bring issues, something about the home that you forgot to do, from something that needs finishing from the home. Basically, something needs to be repaired, something needs to be fixed, or maybe you talked with your partner to do some renovation or some changing of furniture around, or maybe you talked about doing some documents or transferring something, some land or some property, or doing something on the property around, and it will come to the surface. You have to do it within the next June, May, by July it should be finished. It's a great time for doing renovations at home because you're much more organized in regards to home activities. Often I've seen people actually do such kind of repairs, renovations, even moving somewhere as well. And because they're more planned, more organized, more orderly in that area. And you learn also how to be more ordered and organized in regards to your home and family. If you've been always messy and disordered, or if you're more messy than normally, now it can be a time when you kind of create some routine, because Mercury is about managing and organizing, that you learn to be more organized, keep things cleaner. Or maybe this can be a time when you finally do some, something around the house and your property, like prune away the garden, throw away the, the necessary weeds and make it look prettier, organize your house better, organize papers about the house, about the family, or you might be planning certain things with your family, because it's not only the property itself or fixing something there that the 4th house rules, but it rules the members of the family themselves. So you might be having some important conversations with the members of your family or your flatmate, if you live with someone, and reaching some important agreements in regards to, how you're going to live, about your family life overall, about the plans of your family. It might have to do that some issues can come to the surface that have to be addressed through conversations. It might be even some kind of a more stressful issues that need to be directed and need to be talked through, need to be organized and managed. And by July, you'll be finished with that, and you'll be very pleased, whether it's you redid your home, whether it's you reorganized something there, the results will be seen most likely towards July, but May and June, this is what you're doing. You might be organizing some papers about land or whatever. You might be also doing certain actions which will bring more fortune to your family. Because 4th house also in ancient astrology rules fortune. It rules something that is beyond the natural means that we have. It's not beyond paying the rent, and it's to do with luxuries, with 4th house. The home is a luxury. Owning a home, owning a vehicle is a luxury. Owning having things which are above what is the normal means of a person. So people can formulate or plan, when they have Mercury retrograde in their 4th house, some business or some idea or some plan which will help them become more prosperous, but in a bigger way. And if they have this a couple of years in a row, which is quite rare to happen, that they have Mercury retrograde in their 4th house a couple of years in a row, usually it's 5, 6, 7, 8 years from each other, then these 2 years can be very kind of when a person can become way above average rich. But now you can start probably with some plans, but also be careful of get rich quick plans, because many people try and do this when Mercury goes retrograde in their 4th house. And this can crash them quickly. It has to be, you have to pay attention to the details. You have to make sure that you research all these business ideas or investment ideas, so whether it's, you're going to be buying property or whatever. You have to research it very in-depth. And also Mercury is about research, and 4th house is property. So some of you who are trying to find a good property might be researching a lot and or trying to buy a property. There might be some delays with the signing of the contract, of the selling or the buying of the property, but by the end of June it should be okay, or by July it might be okay that you finally complete the deal, something to do with your property, and also to do with, you know, expanding the fortune of your family, your personal fortune as well. But I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm not saying that you're going to really become a millionaire now, because, you know, all, especially Pisces ascendant people can feel it more strongly, but this is when those ideas can start coming to you. And also you can buy a vehicle. It can be a time to repair a vehicle, or some problems with the vehicles come up, so you have to fix them as well, because 4th house rules vehicles as well. 4th house on a more spiritual, deeper level is your past. So certain memories from the past can come to the surface of your mind, because the Mercury is mind. So you have a chance to see certain things from either your childhood or your past in a different light, and be able to release them or heal them in some way. You know, see them from a different perspective, and or you might be able to have a new perspective and a new kind of look at your family members or at your home and family affairs. You see this from a different perspective as well, you know, or some important impression from the past that you see it from a different perspective. And, you know, and also 4th house rules your emotional needs. So a person can get some deep insight and some deep understanding consciously into what your real emotional needs are and what you need to fulfill these needs. 4th house is the house of happiness. What makes you emotionally happy and content? What gives you emotional peace of mind? This is the 4th house, is the peace of mind of person. And Mercury there can attract you to certain practices, to certain activities. You can rediscover such practices and activities, or start practicing now such practices and activities which give you more sense of peace of mind. But this is for more spiritually aware people that can happen. It might be a meditation, it might be digging in your garden, it might be anything that anchors you a bit more, makes you more grounded in some way, psychologically. So that's the big thing that's happening around Mercury, you know, quite a few interesting things. And also it might be reconnecting with family. Some family member from the past keep popping into your mind now for the next 2 months. Or maybe a family member gets in touch with you, or you can research your genealogy, because 4th house is the past of your family, and or just history overall. So you might start doing some research into history, into your family, or leading conversations with family members, all these kind of things, you know. And Venus at the same time is in your 5th house, which is good. It gives you a bit of fun. 5th house is the house of playing. Venus loves being in the 5th house. Venus transit there for you just now in May, Pisces. But you can let your hair down, you can go to a few parties, you can be more romantically attractive to others. I'm not saying, again, you're going to meet the love of your life. It's a very brief influence. But it can definitely make you feel a bit more joyful, more playful, even a little bit indulge too much. But your hobbies, 5th house rules the hobbies, the things that make you happy as a child, you know. 4th house is what makes you grounded emotionally, content. It's like inner happiness. 5th house is like shining your light outside. Hey, you know. So you're working on such themes right now in May. Your inner groundedness on one level, and your outer, you know, expressing yourself. And Venus helps you do it more naturally, helps you become more joyful, more happy. That's why people can attract more romantic interest when they let their inner childlike light shine, and Venus helps with this. And you can have some positive experiences with romantic partner, some positive experiences with children, some positive experiences in creative endeavors, in hobbies, in parties, in amusement and entertainment. Maybe not the whole May, but a few times certainly during May. So if you get invited to that picnic or to enjoy the sun in the spring, you know, to this bar, you're much more likely to say, yeah, why not, you know. But definitely there's this huge focus in the second part of May and big part of June on family, digging the past, you know, making sure that you're creating more stable foundations for yourself for the future, whether it's through your home doing something or maybe it's through, you know, bigger fortune in some way creating. So thank you very much, Pisces. I just want to mention that those Pisces born at the beginning of you know, the February born Pisces, those born around the 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st, 22nd of February, they're having Saturn transit, so things for them, Saturn transit will overpower almost all other transits I was talking about, because that's a specific transit to those degrees. And only people, Pisces born in those few days, or Pisces who have their ascendant or their moon from 0 to 3 degrees in Pisces, so 0, 1 to 3 degrees, they're feeling Saturn, which is a little bit more demanding, which is a little bit more, can put you down, can make you doubt yourself, can put more extra responsibilities on you, can make you feel a bit burdened. But it's a period for being mature, period about being tested on how committed you're about, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a career, whether it's certain aspect of your life, even if it's health, how committed you are to, you know, to recovering, to pulling through this difficulty, through this blockage. And it's just a period of testing and hardening and toughening a person and making the person become more responsible, more mature, more practical, more down to earth. Go on the tried and tested path, and you'll get good results. Saturn can pay off as well. If you're hardworking, Saturn pays off, and if you're serious and if you're committed to something. Otherwise, Saturn takes this thing away from your life. And if Saturn takes something away from your life now, if you're born on those days, you have to be grateful because it was something that you didn't really need, or you were not very committed. But you'll only realize this down the line. Anyway, thank you very much, Pisces, and I will see you next month.